Alright, so it's been a month since my last update, so I just wanted to show you what I've done. I ended up separating my plants out, thinning them out even more, and I moved, or I separated my plants out to where what I was putting in my garden is up here, and this is what's going out to other people. I may or may not have mentioned in my other videos that I started seeds for some friends of mine and my family. Some of these plants are going out to my mother and then to my sister-in-law, so they can put out in their own gardens. In fact, I'm going to be building a raised bed for my sister-in-law and helping my mother get her started, whether she grows in a raised bed or in the ground. But anyway, so I have these separated out. So I just wanted to show you how these are looking. They got pretty lengthy, leggy. They got pretty leggy because I didn't have this light here about a week ago, and I just haven't been around the last few days. I've been outside fidgeting with my raised beds, finishing them off, so I just haven't been up here that much, and just wasn't paying attention, and they got leggy just in a week. But anyway, I added another light and I trimmed my plants down. I pruned them, and you can see how some of them I actually pruned them, my tomato plants last night, but a lot of these were about a week ago, and you can actually see just how much has grown back on the pepper plants alone in a week. But the tomato plants and actually the cucumber plants as well got pruned last night. So as you can see, they've gotten extremely green. Let me see if I can get my camera to zoom here a little bit. There we go. See how beautiful that leaf is. Extremely green. Absolutely no sign of any disease, nothing. They're sagging a little bit because, like I said, I pruned them last night. But absolutely no sign of disease at all. Look amazing. So these plants down here are actually still in the starter soil, that seed starting soil I showed you, and they're being fed with nothing but compost tea. So that is all I've done, and these are the plants that are going out to my family and my friends. So let me show you what's going on up here. I've got my cucumber plants and my tomato plants are in this one, and then there's a few pepper plants. And as you can see, I transplanted all of these into the 2 liters that I ended up doing, and that's another reason why they're in this bin, because I couldn't fit the 2-liter bottles inside of each other to give it a reservoir. So there's holes in the bottom of this, and so it'll drain, and it just drains into this tote. So that's what's happening here. That's why I did that. This is actually not disease at all on here. This is just soil. I just added more soil to this before I started the video. So anyway, as you can see, just beautiful. Everything looks great. All the leaves are very dark green. No sign of disease. Look absolutely great. They're looking pretty sad at the moment because they got pruned. So, but that's what's going on with these ones over here, and then show you these ones over here. These haven't been pruned in a couple of weeks, so there just really hasn't been a need. But as you can see, just look at the detail on that leaf. Just beautiful. No sign of disease, just nothing. Growing absolutely great. Come over here, show you this one again. This is the only plant that really looks different. It's a lot lighter green, but that's just how it grows. This is the 7-pot. So, but as you can see, all looks absolutely great. They got transplanted. I didn't go out and buy any more any more soil because I didn't want to spend any more money. I spent a pretty hefty amount on my raised beds, so I didn't want to go out and spend any more money. So this soil down here is a mixture of the seed starting soil that they were in, some Miracle Grow that I had left over, and the rest of this $1.50 bag of really cheap compost and manure that I showed you in my compost tea video that I did. It's not exactly the greatest thing to do inside, but like I said, it's I didn't want to spend the money since I spent so much money on my raised beds. But honestly, this is pretty well broken down. That's the thing with compost and manure, is once it's fully composted down, it doesn't have that, you know, horrible manure like, you know, smell to it. It just kind of smells like the yard, basically. You know, like yard clippings, you know, outdoor. It doesn't actually smell like manure once it's completely composted down. So that's just what I did. It's a leftover bag of Miracle Grow, the seed starting mix that was in there, and then some of that stuff over there. So let me go ahead and show you these. This is my straight 8. And it won't, I don't know if it'll capture it, if you can see that or not. The roots are already shooting all the way around the side. Yeah, actually you should be able to see that. I put all my cucumbers in the old Sprite 2 liters just because they're green. I just thought that was funny and decided to be unique, I guess. This is my Ashley Long Green. Looks absolutely amazing. I don't know if you can see the roots down in there. Yeah. This is the Regal Hybrid. You can already see the roots right there. Planted them a little bit deeper when I transplanted them. And the soil has gone down a little bit. I haven't added any more soil. I don't have much left. And I've just been adding it to the tomato plants as this kind of compacts down, just from, you know, like the weight of, you know, the moisture and stuff like that. Because it's, the tomato plants put out little hairs. You can actually see it right there. They put out little hairs, and when you plant them deeper, when you go to transplant and you plant them deeper, these little hairs, when they're under soil, turn into roots. So when you transplant, it's important that you actually transplant them deeper, because these will turn into roots, and it just makes the plant that much more stronger, a lot stronger, and just helps grow it better. It makes it a lot sturdier. This will all thicken up as well once you start trimming them. On pepper plants, cucumbers, all that stuff, the stem will thicken up when you prune them. So anyway, so that's why I'm saving my soil. Not that I'm telling you how to garden, but that's why I'm saving my soil, is that I'm adding them to my tomato plants as they compact down. So this is my Ananas Noir, or however you pronounce that. This one's looking pretty sad at the moment. That is my San Marzano, and you can see roots all over the place. This is Rapunzel. I'm so looking forward to this plant this year. That is my Amish paste. This is Yellow Monster. That is my Anaheim TMR. As you can see, it's already putting off another stem here, which is another thing about pruning that is important, because when you prune and you cut back, a lot of times they'll put off an offshoot, and that's good because it'll make it sturdier. It'll balance the weight out, so they don't grow as tall. They'll grow, you know, kind of compact and sturdy, or at least so I've read. But from my experience last year, that's exactly what happened. That's my Carmen. Looks great. This is another yellow monster. If I can get my camera to light up better. Looks absolutely great. That is my red bell. This one right here is going to be interesting. My red bell, I don't think I mentioned this in my last videos, but these seeds came from the yellow, the orange, and the red bell peppers that come in the long sealed pepper packages that you get in Walmart. And I decided to go ahead and take the seeds out and dry them and try to germinate them and see if I could grow them and get them to fruit. A lot of people say that it doesn't work that well, that if you do that, they don't, especially if they're a GMO seed. Those usually produce 1 year and then they stop producing, and because they just have that shortened life. And then the other thing is that even if they're not the GMO seeds and you do get them to germinate, they won't fruit, or they won't put out like the nice sized fruits or anything like that. They just will not fruit and produce well. So I'm curious to see for myself, because I don't always believe what people tell me. I have to experience it myself, because everybody has opinions on stuff, and you know, pardon my words, but opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. So I want to try it for myself, and I don't want that to take anybody to take that wrong, but you know, that's just kind of how I do things. I listen to what people say, and I watch a lot of videos. I read a whole lot. I do a lot of research on stuff, but I don't ever take just one person's opinion to be fact. I do not operate that way, because everybody's got an opinion, and quite frankly, more often than not, there is always something not necessarily better that you can do than someone, but more that you can add to it to make it a little bit better. So I just like to try things for myself, and you know, it's just like how that is just how I like to do things. So anyway, this is my white habanero. As you can see, it's pretty compact. It was growing taller. I pruned it when I transplanted it, and now it's just growing more compact. This is the poblano. Looks absolutely amazing. And this is the butch tea. This is that 7-pot. And that's my sweet banana. That is my gold hab. And this light right here was way down here, and it burnt the leaf. So you can actually see how I was burning the leaf on it. But it'll come back. So this is another Anaheim. And this is my medium jalapeno that has some interesting looking leaves on it. Nothing's eating it, that's just how it's growing. Anyway, that's what I got going on. You'll see my beds that I did, my raised beds, when I go to transplant. I'm not gonna make a separate video for that, but pretty excited about growing in raised beds this year. I'm not gonna be growing in my containers at all this year. So like how I did last year, not that I had bad success or anything. In fact, I had amazing success with that. But I'm gonna do raised beds this year, and I might have my ahi panca, which is not shown here, it's outside, because it's already in a 5-gallon bucket. I started that middle of last year. I might keep that in the bucket, or I might put that in a raised bed, but we'll see. But anyway, all of these are going in raised beds, so I'll show you my raised beds when I go to transplant. There's some work that I got to do to it, but oh yeah, and real quick, so this is another little experiment that I'm doing. These are cuttings from my tomato plant. This is a San Marzano cutting. This is Rapunzel cutting, and this is a Boxcar Willie cutting. And as you can see, they look absolutely pathetic. I'm hoping they'll come back, but this is a little experiment that I'm doing. Typically, when you propagate a cutting, you typically do the suckers from a tomato. If you cut off the suckers, they have the hairs on the side, and you can start a whole new plant from the mother plant with just those cuttings. These, however, are not suckers at all. This is a normal stem that shot off with a leaf stem, and so it had, you know, the hairs on it. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and try to do this and see if it sends out roots of its own. So it's a little experiment that I'm trying. I don't know if it'll work or not, but we'll see. I don't know. I got bored, so I decided to do that. But so I'll give you an update on those as well in my next video. So anyway, that is all I've got going on for now. If you guys have any questions or comments, please post them below, and I'll answer them as best as I can. But I appreciate you guys watching and tuning in, and I appreciate the subscribers that I do have. I'm not one of those guys that has, you know, like 1,000 followers. You know, I only have, I forget how many that I got, but you know, I've got a fairly decent amount for, you know, for a little gardening channel that's not even a how-to gardening channel. It's just how I'm doing it kind of thing. But so I do appreciate those who subscribe and follow me, and, you know, compliment me on how things are turning out for me. So anyway, I'll see you guys in about 4 weeks, and I'll give you an update on all these guys, and of course my little experiment over here, and maybe give you a little tour of my raised bed. So I apologize for the lighting issues. It's night outside, and with the light off over above me, whenever I move the camera, it changes everything. So I keep having to tap my screen to get it to zoom in and adjust the lighting. So, but anyway, so I do apologize for that. But thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in about a month. Have a good night.